abhorrent.
No, that's rubbish. Come on. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome. This is episode 2 of Stonxcast.
I do like I like to chuck a shit intro at you though. I think that's one way. I think that's actually one art form of opening the show. So welcome to Stonxcast episode 2. Yeah, that was terrible. But then again, so is everything. So fuck you, basically. This would also be the second quarantine podcast. So you may see as these podcasts go along that stuff in the background starts to sort of crumble away.
Just like our sanity.
Fire at one point. Like we're still not sure what's going to happen. But Boris Johnson's out of hospital, I just read. So yes. That's a fact. He is out of hospital. And moving on swiftly from that, before you give any kind of opinion on it or me, I will roll on to our first topic. So what have you got in store for us today, Ollie?
I got a bunch more VSTs again because I just went on the hunt. Companies are still giving out loads of stuff. A few bits of news. It's mainly free stuff again, man. I just went on a free stuff binge.
Yeah, I mean, this is just we're going to be focusing this one a little bit more towards mental health, maybe looking after yourself a little bit during the quarantine. So we'll be talking through. We've heard. I've been reading a lot about a rise in domestic abuse as well. It seems like I do all the stuff that just isn't music. I've been looking up, researching a couple of things online. I also have a counselling service to recommend that's online based. That's got a very good Trustpilot rating. So I've already checked it out, made sure it's not crazy. I'll be running through some of that. I will show you a short preview of one of the new tracks I'm working on, centered towards showing you Focusrite and Solubles, or are they one entity now? I'm so fucking unobservant.
I don't know. Man. I think they just got together for this thing. I don't really know.
All right, well, that's fine. Whatever. Part of the website was in some other language. That just makes me sound like a xenophobe. I'm going to be being a bit of their new free plugin that they have sent out called Balancer. It's a bit of a like a Magic Box EQ plugin.
Yeah, we talked. It was one of the ones we talked about last week.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing kind of the pros and cons of that. One of Ollie's friends has had a go with it as well, and he's given a bit of feedback on it, so we'll be looking at that. And when we're looking at that as well, I'll also give you a sneaky peek of my new track, Urban Rampage, which is coming out when we fucking decide to release it, which will be
May.
sometime early May.
Second week.
Yeah, second week, maybe first week, depending on when I finish it.
I just take the calendar and pick a date, so I look at it now. Yeah. I always like to go on Mondays.
It's great because he just looks at the calendar and picks a date that I have to rigorously stick to.
How about the 11th? Monday the 11th?
It says something about distribution and then I just lose all my power.
Yeah, Monday the 11th, that's when it's coming out. It's in the calendar now.
I'm going to be polishing off my new EP, London 2 track, which should be coming out either first or second week of May. We're going to be talking again and giving you another little musical interlude from Ollie's new release, Score Unknown.
Score Unknown.
We'll talk about the fact that I can't fucking spell. There's more swearing in this one already, isn't there? As the global situation deteriorates, I'll start actually creating my own language, and it'll be up to you guys to follow because this may be the only remaining form of media.
It's fine.
So we're gonna have a look
first. Then, do you want to share screen? You can take.
I can share screen first, I guess. Yeah. Why not?
Take it.
I like the fact we should build this sort of like loose attitude in it to the actual style of the podcast, so we don't have to try.
Yeah, no, I reckon zero editing. We can do this like.
Yeah. Honestly, like, right. Let me get the screen. I'll bang on the share screen.
Yeah, you've been huge on my screen for a minute now. I see your
eye. Okay. You can see my screen, right?
See your desktop.
Lovely stuff, right? So I'm opening this, right? And it's time to find all of the Pornhub links I haven't closed. No, there we go. Right. I'll share my audio with you guys as well because we can have a bit of a Corona themed musical
There's been a few things this week. You sent me that metal one as well. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to get that up as well. That's quite interesting. I really like it when people. This is completely aside, of course, but it'll give you a little hint of what we're looking at later. I really like it when people write words in MIDI and then build an arrangement around that. I think it's really clever. So yeah, for a bit of a musical background, while I have a quick look through these tabs, please have General Levy's COVID-19. I think it was called the COVID-19 Crisis Dub. Yeah, there you go. It's on the fucking screen in front of me. So let's.
That one in him, me a big judge, I make no virus, no find us. Every day me get touch, I protect and him a guide us. Things I get dangerous, very contagious. They travel through the air right now, me can't trust me sign us. Me a big judge, I make no virus, no find us. Every day we get touch, I protect and him a guide us. Things I get dangerous, very contagious. They travel through the air right now, me can't trust me sign us. I what am I talk about? I what the world I talk about? The coronavirus, I take people out. Yo, what am I talk about? What the world I talk about? They travel through the ear, all plane and boat. Yo, what am I talk about? What the world I talk about? The coronavirus, I take people out. Bim. What am I talk about? What the world I talk about? They travel through the ear, all plane and boat. The whole world I talk. So me hear about the crisis. Corona, a terrorist, the place like ISIS. When me say corona, we are talk about.
Obviously, we've got no opinions on what General Levy is consuming in that video.
Me love it.
Moving swiftly on to other medical stuff. So yeah, I've unfortunately, even during this all this horribleness, I've kind of had the sort of continual struggle that seems especially men are having with mental health kind of thrust in my face again. It's probably related to the isolation, and I'm not going to go into it any further than this, but unfortunately I lost a friend in the last couple of days. So I'm still kind of reeling from that. But that's all I'm going to sort of go into on that. I don't really want to elaborate any further on that. However, it does give a kind of context as to why I am centering this towards sort of mental health and making sure you are okay.
Yeah, man, it's a tough one to talk about, but you know, sometimes things happen. It helps to kind of bring it to center.
Man.
Right now,
it was like a wrecking ball. Honestly, it was like a wrecking ball hitting my stomach yesterday, and it's not the first time it's happened. So it's definitely something worth talking about, especially in the current. What is it everyone's saying at the moment? The current unprecedented global situation in relation to COVID-19 or whatever you want to say. But yeah, so it just shows that even when the rest of the world's going to crap, there are still people who are really, really struggling in their own health, and it's the worst thing in the world if people unfortunately have to lose that battle. It's unthinkable. So while you are isolated, and not to get too down in the dumps about it, to be quite matter of fact about it, there are some websites, there are some things you can do. Obviously, sometimes, and for a lot of people, I think a growing number of people these days, it's very difficult to spend time completely alone. So you've got to you've got to keep those little tendrils of communication out. And one thing that I found is whenever you get, I've dealt with depression and stuff throughout most of my sort of adolescent and developing life, and it's almost like I've almost whittled it down to a very simplistic feeling. Your depression will fight against every single impulse you have to get yourself better. It's tricky, man. Like, it will just stop you. And I kind of make it akin, it's not to trivialize it, I make it akin to the feeling of, when you've been wandering around for ages and you sit down, and then and this happens to me all the time, because like, honestly, I've got the short-term memory of like a fucking wet brain goldfish, man. Like, it's terrible. So when you just sit down and you realize that you've got to get up straight away, you have to just monopolize on that moment. The moment you have a thought, I can reach out to someone, I can get on Zoom, I can do anything like that. Your depression will be fighting that straight away.
Yeah, you have to
act on that straight away. Get yourself in front of the computer before your body can just collapse you. So that is one thing it's a good tool if you're in this kind of situation, is just, you have to bite down on those moments, because otherwise you'll end up back in bed, and you're not going to help yourself in this kind of situation if you're just consistently not able to talk to people. So
yeah,
keep
man.
the communication
There's
going.
a bunch of things like when you get up, get dressed. Don't stay in your pajamas. Get changed.
It sounds stupid stuff, and this is not coming from an avenue of cheer up and stiff up a little.
Just get on with it. No,
it's coming
not
from an
that,
avenue of, if you drag yourself into actioning these things and keeping some kind of cycle, and you don't go completely to pieces, your brain will start rewarding you for it. It just takes a little bit longer if you're in a depressive episode, essentially, which this will have put a lot of people in.
Yeah, chemical. It's a chemical imbalance. This is the thing.
Yeah, man.
So, like,
that's the
this
thing.
Is just saying exercise as well. It is.
Yeah,
if you treat your body well, it does.
You see in your chemistry set at school. It's just people took a long time to realise it, because it means admitting that you're actually a person.
Yeah, man. I've been
People
doing
don't like me, they're people.
I've been doing a bit of qigong in the morning. It's like tai chi, yoga, but it's flowing movements.
Yeah.
Just
I just sort of wake up
peace of
and
mind.
I start screaming at the ceiling. It's a very cathartic. I think it might be tantric. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some tingling in my loins as I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Anyway, so let's have a quick look. What like websites you can visit? Obviously, one of the first ones that you can take a quick look at, and I'm not going to make the whole podcast about this. I'm just going to run through them quickly. You've got Mind, of course. They have outreaches in every single county in the country. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know at least around our local area, there's one there. There's Mind, Bucks, etc. My girlfriend also does quite a lot of charity work for them. She does the Crafternoons, which involves getting loads and loads of people. Basically, like she got my mum and all her friends really, really drunk and made them make like these like atrocious, like you'd never show them to human beings, like fucking crochets. But it was amazing because they all put in, they gave some money. So yeah, it's a really good cause, and obviously that's your one-stop shop for most of your information on this. They have a particular page for coronavirus and your well-being. So essentially this is loads of different links, practical advice, how to deal with health anxiety. I don't know if people are particularly prone to that. I know I am. I don't know if it's just because I've nearly died loads of times, but I'm always a little bit more cautious of those kind of things than other people. I mean, I'm not scrubbing the floors or anything. I'm still a messy bastard, but I definitely have it at the forefront of my mind, definitely my health, if not germs. So this is definitely stuff you can take a look at just to tame that anxiety. It's almost like it's your standard anxiety advice, but just tailored a little more around controlling compulsions and stuff like that, because a lot of people are going to get into those kind of compulsive patterns. So have a look at Mind. Ollie's cleverer than me. I don't know if there's some way he can put the link somewhere. Can we have the link somewhere?
I know we can on the YouTube.
I'm going from like anything from like it appears in text to some sort of page to you tattoo it on your forehead. So like, I'm really open.
I should.
So we'll look into getting the links out there. But yeah, so this is Mind. Stephen Fry has a lot of involvement in this. So if you like Stephen Fry, you'll probably see him in some kind of promotional work with them. This is another thing that I was looking at. So let me just.
I got the chat open, so I could just put it on there, right?
My girlfriend just told me Stephen Fry is the president, which I think I knew, but just didn't clarify.
What was it? Mind.org.uk.
Yeah, I'll get the Mind helpline up.
I'll post that in the chat. I think I just did that. Let me click it.
Yeah, I'll read it out anyway. So the.
Yeah, I did a thing.
Here we go. So you've got the info line for Mind is 0300 123 3393. That's 0300 123 3393. I was nearly utilising a bit of my customer service voice there. It's just that, right. So yeah, if you can give them a call, obviously I'll get the Samaritans number up as well, because I'm sure they're still doing stuff as well. But you can give either of these lines a call. This is more like, I can imagine, an informational line for mental health. But they're never going to turn you away. So yeah, have a look at that. One thing I have been looking at recently, and this was recommended to me on a podcast that I listened to, is called BetterHelp. Now this is really good, and this is kind of good. I like this for like 2 reasons.
Didn't they have some controversy on YouTube? They're paying YouTube
I had
to
a
do
look.
something. I thought there was something I remember.
So I had a look. So I got their Trustpilot up, and like they've got 1,115 reviews, and they're 81% 5-star rated. And when I was scrolling down, like the only dude that I could find with a 1-star rating was like some guy who was like, I had to pay for this, and it's like, oh my god, man. And I work in a customer service job, and this is like half of our complaints. And I won't even mention like but it's a lot of the time I am speaking to people, and we get halfway through it, and I mention that as it's a product, it has a price, and we reach a period of turbulent seas, and it's quite an interesting. It's something I didn't expect to be one of the main things I faced in that kind of job, but it is quite interesting. Yeah, look out for that, because this is a really good example. But a lot of these, I don't know. I've had it recommended by podcasts that I trust. I don't know what did you hear about it? It's probably better to just discuss it than me to give like bad information.
I honestly can't remember. I think like some YouTubers got paid to do adverts or something like that. I don't really even think it was that bad, but I remember there being
fair
some
enough.
deal.
Well, yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
really remember. I don't really. Do your own research.
it's tricky, isn't it? Because the world's just such a just steaming pile of just effluent. Like, I mean, it's like as long as honestly, as long as they're not like poisoning water supplies in India, then they're like, is that kind of okay? Like, or like, you know, as long as they're not building new like missile defense, fuck Raytheon basically. But anyway, yeah, you heard, fuck Raytheon. For BetterHelp, okay, I can give you the Stonxcast guarantee that
Are you
BetterHelp
sure about
will
this?
be a more reputable and more ethical company than Raytheon, the weapons contractor to the US government. I can promise you that. And also, I can promise you it will be better than Blackwater, the mercenaries that the US government deployed in Iraq. It will be better than both of those things. And you may even feel happier rather than drone strikes. Happy. So
well, there we go.
Anyway,
that's a good way to tie that one up.
From what I researched, it came up okay. Please do give us a shout if you know anything terrible about it, and we will obviously we'll do a retraction, and not like a retraction in like a paper where they put it in like 3 lines at the bottom.
We're sorry that you took offence.
Oh, by the way, when we like gave out that guy's address and told you guys it was a paedophile, he's not, but it's just down here in very small letters, and obviously the address is very big letters. I've had a really tough couple of days, so I might just let Ollie take the reins at one point.
That's all right. Get through your bits.
This BetterHelp thing, it's essentially like a remote counselling service. And what I liked about it is it takes away people, in case you haven't realised, are kind of comfortable doing stuff on the internet that maybe they wouldn't be comfortable doing in real life. Yeah, it takes a lot of that stigma out of it. And I feel like a lot of people that wouldn't usually access counselling and wouldn't usually access the kind of help that can get you through these kind of situations would be more comfortable talking to someone on a remote basis, even if they can see them, even if it's a video.
I mean, don't be afraid to chat to your friends, but
especially the older generation, who I think we've really got to think about people who don't have the connectivity that we have. We've grown up with all of this. I mean, like half of my flat is just screen, and it's like I know how to set it all up to talk to people and stuff like that. And a lot of people, you know, between 50 and 70s, they've got some knowledge, but it's not the same. So you've got to be thinking of those people as well. And it's kind of nice that we can put a bit of remoteness and maybe more people access it. But it's like a remote counselling service. As far as I know, and I checked that, they're verified counsellors. And yeah, you can seek help. It is a paid service. And I do apologise that money still exists. It may not soon, so that may be a problem that fixes itself. In which case, it'll just be your nearest witch doctor or faith healer, realistically, or whoever has the most scrap metal in the town, and therefore is, I don't know, declared leader. I'm looking forward to all of this. So yeah, have a look at BetterHelp. It's I'll find the actual URL for the website. It's just www.betterhelp.com. Have a look at it. Obviously, take anything with a pinch of salt. Vet it yourself, but I think it might be quite a good avenue for people to get some help. I'll try and tie this up because I'm rambling a little bit. I haven't got my usual pizzazz.
That's all right. We'll get
this I thought was interesting. This was really interesting, and this is a company called, or an organization called Hestia, and I think they do some hostels around London as well, I think I've heard. So they run some of the newly rehabilitated offender hostels. So I'm very big on trying to give people another chance, a run at this, because it's not easy life. So like, do you know what I mean? I'm very big into rehabilitation and doing whatever I can to assist people in that. So I quite like the fact that they've also got something for people who are experiencing, and it's a horrible thing, but people who are experiencing a rise in domestic violence due to the fact that everyone is stuck in their home. It's a harrowing thing to even have to consider that would go on the rise. Yeah. But then again, if you do your research, you know that domestic violence rises every time a fucking certain football team loses or something like that. I mean, it's just there's a whole group of blokes out there that are just, you know, like the blue touch paper and open the fucking Greyhound gate. I've got a dodgy way with like analogies and metaphors, man. But it's like they're just waiting for a reason to go home and just be the worst kind of human being.
I mean, on the flip side to that, there's like, you know, people like you and me, we live in quite small spaces.
Yeah.
It is important to have your space, you know. So
Yeah.
there is a rise in domestic abuse and domestic violence because these people are stuck in their homes. So
Yeah,
even if it's just like, you know, separate
I
your
bet
room.
there's probably part of this rise is men that have never done it before, and it's just a crazy reaction, and it's a very difficult one to talk about, isn't it? Because
But you know what I'm saying is, just if you need space, segregate a room of your house and just be like, this is my room for 12 hours,
Yeah.
and just, you know, have that space.
It's
And
always
if you
good
have
to give
something happens
practical
and you want to
advice.
tell your partner, or you want to tell them, just don't save everything up for 6 hours, 12 hours. Make it as if you've gone away, you know. Just
Exactly.
you're not on top of each other all the time. I think that's one of the things.
Right, let me roll through this,
Yeah,
otherwise
sorry,
the whole
dude.
thing will be about it. Right, so anyway, these guys, Hestia, that I was mentioning before, they have an app called Bright Sky. It's a free-to-download mobile app. It's launched in partnership with the Vodafone Foundation, which I just couldn't care less about. And it is essentially, it's an app that is, it's like an information hub for if you are someone, or if you are someone who's even maybe in a professional capacity looking out for these kind of things. Basically it's a central hub for people who are in an abusive situation at home. So what I can imagine it contains is loads of different links. It's got a UK-wide directory of specialist domestic abuse support services with contact details. It's got a secure My Journal tool to record incidents of abuse via text, audio, or video, or photo form. So that's really interesting. A lot of the time when people are bringing this to police and stuff, the police are they're run pretty thin, man. So if you can compile the evidence for them and just present it to them on a plate, like, I'm sorry, that's the world we live in. But like, yeah, if there's anything you can do to make it a little bit more fluid for the police accessing this data and stuff, I can imagine something like this would give you a lot more power to bring this stuff to them.
Yeah, speed up the whole process.
Yeah. It's got questionnaires to assess the safety of a relationship, because sometimes I can imagine it really is hard to tell. Plus a section on dispelling myths around domestic and sexual abuse. It also has links to further resources and information on topics around domestic abuse. So I would download this if you're having any worries at home about the behavior of your partner, or maybe you're already, you know, neck deep in it. And I'm so sorry if you are, but download this app. It's on the Apple the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And yeah, it could be a little bit of a lifeline. I really like the idea of the recording incidents of abuse. And I'm really hoping that's not just because I like recording audio, because that's really horrifying. But like, no, it seems like a really, really decent way to help the police help you. And I mean, that's the thing, like, in the way the police has been funded in the last, you know, the recent history, they need all the help they can get. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. I like that as a part of the app. I think that's quite well thought out. What else we got? There's only a couple of other things. Young Minds, that's another very good website, especially if you are a younger person or you know a younger person who's isolating. So maybe if you're a parent and you've got young kids, have a look at this website, because these guys, it's kind of, it's more centered towards the younger person. So you can sort of have a look at the behavior of your kid if you're a young person yourself, or even if you're a young person worried about a sibling, have a look at this website. It's not going to steer you in the wrong direction. And let's have one last look. I think that might be me done. I might throw it over to you.
Cool. So the only other thing,
I'll throw it over to you for a little bit to talk a little bit about what you're talking about, and I'll sort of prepare my next bit as well.
Cool. Yeah, I was going to say the whole Kanga debacle.
Yeah, we could move on from that. So that's essentially.
Do you want to keep the screen?
No, let's switch over the screen to you. Why not?
Right,
I'll give the screen back.
I've got it. Yeah, you sort out your Kanga debacle, and we'll get on to some fun stuff. So
yeah, exactly. We just wanted to get that a little bit out of the way, because as I mentioned, it's kind of it's been brought to the forefront for me recently, and it's the worst thing in the world. So
it's tough times for everyone, man. So yeah, if anyone needs
we can
to talk,
do to prevent that outcome, or provide you with stuff, like I'll be chucking up whatever I can or whatever I find online in relation to mental health and just keeping yourself safe during this, because it's not nice sometimes, you know, for years like my brain was my worst enemy. So getting locked inside with the dude was like doing solitary with like your literal nemesis, man. Like, it's not to be taken lightly, that kind of thing. I'm just, yeah, and I'm super lucky now that I'm sort of happy and bouncy at least.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
anyway, let's
well-being.
let's compartmentalize this bit, because I don't really want to interject any jokes into what is a genuinely really serious situation, but I also don't want the whole podcast to be centered around such an unfortunate negative thing. So if we just close that off now, we'll go over to Ollie.
Let's close the curtains. Right. So this week I've just found loads more free stuff. I've got a couple of news articles, but it's mainly just free stuff. So
there you go. Well, it's like the compliment sandwich. We'll do like a serious bit, and then we'll just show you loads of free stuff, and then the other bit of bread is also free stuff. And why the hell do you care?
So I can blitz through a bunch of these, but TikTok donates 2 million to support the music community. So last week we were talking about a bunch of companies that were all giving away stuff. I don't use TikTok, but loads of people do. So read about what they're doing. What was this one? That's just the same thing again. Streams down despite big releases during coronavirus lockdown. And then I read another article. Coronavirus. I just had a stroke. Streams down despite big releases during coronavirus lockdown. How's that? Is that better for you?
Yeah, just do the whole thing in your voice actor voice.
No, I can not.
I can't do it. I haven't got enough throat left.
But yeah, they're saying album sales increase, but there's a little dip in streaming. So I don't know, because there's been a few of these like push in to buy albums, you know, support artists and stuff. No one's got any fucking money, so that's stupid, isn't it? I don't even know. Boring. These are all boring. There's not even free stuff. Look. Yeah, look, this is
what I mean. I mentioned in Stonxcast episode 1 that like Ollie tries to delete your tunes halfway through. He'll also load loads of tabs and then just be like, these are all crap.
That was all like boring stuff about business. It was interesting this morning when I read it, but it's not anymore. This, I think, was this weekend, this festival, so we've probably missed it. It's running now. But there was loads of stuff going on. So the O2's opening up as an NHS training facility. So I assume that's the O2 Greenwich. The what's it called?
It'd be a bit shit if it was the O2 Academy Kentish Town.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? So that whole arena's being turned into the training facility for Nightingale. So they're doing big gigs, and you know all these artists that have had to cancel stuff. Hyde Park's cancelled, Albert Hall's.
Yeah, British Summertime.
So yeah, they're doing a bunch of live streams just for all these bloody cancelled gigs.
Lovely.
Yeah, and there's another one which is this weekend, which is here, the National Hype Service.
Yeah, this is what. I'll do some screen diddling in the background because I'm pretty sure I saw. I'll do a shout out for my man Curb Stomp. Hang on, it's on my Facebook. Carry on diddling away with yours.
Yeah. I don't know where probably on their Facebook, right?
Because I saw the NHS thing behind him.
National Hype Service.
He looked like he was. That's not him.
April lineup. So yeah, look. They're doing like a bunch of live streams, Dispatch Records takeovers, just good old drum and bass, noisy stuff. Raising money for the NHS. All proceeds go to the NHS. But then they've called themselves the National Hype Service, so then they're just taking all the money. That would be my. But no, I think.
Yeah, this looks like it. So like, hang on, I might knit the screen back just for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, now you're just my entire screen. Hello, big boy.
Enjoy my face. So this, I'll just quickly knit the screen of that. So my mate posted this. I thought it was him actually, but it's some guys from Context. What does it say? I want to make sure if I'm going to shout this out, I want to at least say it right. Oh, but now I've lost the screen. What's going on? Right, yeah. They are Context Audio, which my mate might be a part of. But
you've not taken the screen yet.
That's all right. I'm doing that on my own time.
All right.
So I'm coming over to it now. Right, there you go. So this seems to be share the audio. So yeah, this seems to be part of. Oh, hello. Seems to be part of the National Hype Service. Definitely looks like an NHS fundraiser.
Yeah.
Nice to see some guys. I don't know, my mate today spent loads of time down in Portsmouth, so I haven't spoken to him for ages. Yeah, it's nice to see some people doing stuff like that. I'll give you the screen back now. It's just because I had some. Context.
I could barely hear you. I was just vibing to the old.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Honestly, anything that can drown me out is fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just got to keep an eye on the kettle because I'm making another cup of tea.
Oh no, yeah, this is the most important part. Burning Man!
Burning Man! It's been cancelled this year.
Burning Man!
It's the first time it's ever been cancelled. So
yeah.
They've decided not to build Rock City. Oh no, they are going to build it. I don't know. I didn't read the article. I just read the title.
Nice one, dude.
Yeah, we can do it now. After much listening, discussion, and careful consideration, we've decided not to build Black Rock City in 2020.
So you're right in the first place. You just like baited yourself up.
Given the painful reality of COVID, one of the greatest global challenges of our lifetime, we believe it's the right thing to do. We're heartbroken. We know you're heartbroken. We need to do blah 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 blah. We're going to build it in the multiverse.
The what?
I don't know.
Yeah. The multiverse? I don't understand. What? Fucking hippies.
Fucking hippies.
I'm not even that unhippie-ish, and you're like a turbo-crossed hippie, but like still.
They're doing refunds, but they're committed to keeping Burning Man culture alive. So, do. Bunch of stuff. Basically, Burning Man's cancelled. Oh no.
Oh, there we go. There he is.
Steve Aoki.
He's always doing something strange. No, I can't say that. That'd be like one of those Jeremy Clarkson things that gets you in trouble, and I hate that bloke.
I always, when I think of Aoki, I always just think of blippy bloppy noises, right? He does lots of like, but he's got fresh sounds, new alias, so expect some new music under some other name sometime soon. And then look, here's the big one. Here's the important ting. Skrillex is finally on Twitch. So we had sometime last year, it might have been October, November last year. He released a couple of his tracks, like Ableton walkthroughs. I don't even know if it was him that was walking through the tracks, but it just showed a bunch of like a bit of his bus route in. I can't even remember what the track was that it was now. Maybe it was 2 tracks. But now he started Twitch, so if you want to see some of Skrillex's squashy, crazy production style.
He does make nice noises, doesn't he? He makes better noises than he made when he was in From First to Last.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really enjoyed Crazy Monsters and Nice Sprites when it first came out. Like, I love that obnoxious fucking just, you know, that's my thing.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh my, no, just because you might be quite interested in this, just because of what you just released. Look up, what was his name? Oh no, give me 1 second. It's called like Carpenter. My mate literally just told me about it. Hang on. Because you said obnoxious as well.
What was that?
Carpenter Brute.
Okay.
It's like I don't know, like the one track I listened to, I describe it as like turbo electro. You don't have to put it on now.
No, I was just writing it down. I'll check it out.
Yeah,
after.
it's really interesting. Right, anyway, chat on about Skrillex. Sorry.
Yeah, just watch his stuff, Skrillex. I'm sure we can all learn a bit or two. You know.
About noise sound design, you can't deny that.
Yeah. It's not,
struggle really to listen to like more than 3 of his tunes in a row because I don't know, it seems to just all attack the same frequency spectrum, which I guess in a way is what he's all about. Like,
yeah, he's all about that obnoxious, squashed, over the top, and it's good for that, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I got no real issue with it at all.
No, I know there was loads of people.
I think
on
he's
the
better
hate
than
train.
me. So
yeah. People were on the Skrillex hate train for ages. You know, I think dubstep got.
Yeah, I
pissed a
blatantly
lot of
jumped
people
on
off.
that. I used to be such a little like hate kid. I only really grew out of that when I was like 26.
So yeah, back onto a bit of sad news. But Mike Appleton, he was the TV producer who was behind the whole Old Grey Whistle test back in like 70s, maybe late 60s. But, you know, all of those crazy 15-minute songs, extended solos and stuff like that. It was like the alt top of the pops. So, you know, like, if there was any way of drum and bass and stuff like that getting on the TV, it was people like him that like paved the way for putting weird shit in front of people, you know. There's no other way Captain Beefheart and people like that would ever be put on the BBC, but somehow he wangled it. Fucking God knows how. So
impressive stuff, man.
Yeah, he died on April the 2nd, aged 83. I think it was just it was nothing corona related or anything like that. Just one of those things. So yeah, if you don't know Old Grey Whistle Test, check out on YouTube and just watch some old fucking rockers tripping their tits off, fucking playing 20-minute keyboard solos. It's good. So then I'm on to all my free stuff. That's all good stuff and free stuff from now on. So
nice.
Should we do free stuff and then we'll talk about the Kanga thing?
Yeah, good.
Do that
go your free stuff. I'm just going to quickly exit stage toilet.
All right, nice one. Oh, should we just do an interlude then?
Well, I don't know if it merited an interlude. Yeah, do the interlude.
Go on, I'll do an interlude.
I'll just talk off camera like this isn't just the least professional thing in the world.
I think you can like mute the chat. Hold on, I can do everything. Look, we'll get there. that is track 2 off the new EP. Subsonic Propulsion Machine. Can I start his audio too? I mean, can I start his camera? Can I do it? Unmute audio. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I have to ask. Don't know. Yeah, that's track 2 off the new EP. The title track of the EP, Subsonic Propulsion Machine. Kind of fun one. This guy Tom, he thought it was an awesome video, and it was really good. Thank you, Tom. I start another track, and then he's going to turn up straight away, so I'm not going to do it. There we go. I can't hear you. Unmute. Hello?
Yo.
Yo, sorted. I just gave him I gave him track 2 with the old blue.
Give him a bit of the track toe.
Yeah. So do you want to chat about some free stuff, and then we'll hand it back over to you, and you can show off a bit of your new stuff, and then do the old Kanga.
Yeah, I'll do a bit
Kanga.
of yeah, we'll finish with Kanga.
Free stuff. Filter Step. This is audiomodern.com. Creative motion filter. I've not tried it out. I just read about it earlier, but it looks cool. It's got a cool weird interface, and we use filters for like the majority of our movement. I mean, personally, I don't know if you watched any of the sound design stream that I did the other week. A lot of our sound design is just making fucking noise, and then we filter it later. So any kind of creative filter is good. That's what we want.
Yeah, the noises, they don't sound like they do in the end.
No. That's the cool thing about additive synthesis, is you just want everything. Just fucking make it horrendous. And if all you need is...
And then tame it
later.
down.
Yeah, that's it. So Filter Step is free download. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Look, there we go.
Look, it's real.
Proceed to check out.
I've not.
Oh look, it needs a fucking load of bollocks. They all do, but it's free anyway. This one, what was this one? GeoShred. This is Jordan Rudess, the keyboard player. The keyboard player from Dream Theater.
Key horse player.
The key horse player. I play the key horse. If he could make a key horse, he would. He's that kind of dude. Absolute nuts.
Is it Dream Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's made a few of these in the past. I had one like in the past.
Sorry, I'm just going to call you out on your plosives. Sorry.
My plosives. He's made a few of these. I used one before. It's just like, it's touchscreen, so you can just go like this, and it gives you fucking awesome solos because it just plays it in the right key. So it's just like... So yeah, if you just want to go...
I might just get that, just annoy Lexi.
Yeah, I think it's again, it's only an Apple only thing, but yeah. Have you not got an iPad or anything?
Oh yeah, I've got a fucking huge iMac next to me.
I'm sure you can get it and just go.
I can do that into a mic.
Shred like a motherfucker. It's good stuff. Serato Audio, Serato. They've got a free DAW, the ultimate beat maker. Apparently, it kind of looks like Tractor there, doesn't it?
Does a little bit, yeah. He seems to be having fun. She's got a cool hoodie.
Intuitive beat making software for beginners, DJs, and advanced producers.
Do you reckon is there a lot of specialists? Is there a specialist like stock website for like edgy people?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember one of my old mates, he used to model for ugly.com, UGLY, and there's literally like ugly models. There was
this mate here, he's come straight out of human traffic, isn't he?
Then maybe they should give you the clothes at the door. So wear this, look edgy.
I had one of those hats on holiday once, but I lost it in the sea. It was one of the saddest moments.
Boo. Those hats always just make me think of fucking Joe Satriani. Another widdly geezer.
You look a bit like Nater.
Yeah, mate. Oh yeah, I suppose.
No, anyway, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, another free one. If anyone has bought a Universal Audio hardware, and I was actually looking at this recently when I upgraded, and I was looking at this one because it has one big knob, and that kind of thing just really I find quite alluring. I ended up getting the Motu.
I like the girth of it.
I got the Motu. I can. Let's see if I can move on my cables. That's got quite a nice big knob. But
why did I laugh at that? It's been a real tough weekend.
That's how I've been basing what I buy is the size of its knob. So this Apollo Twin X, if you bought one of them, Universal Audio, they've released a new DAW as well, the Luna recording system. So there's like shitloads of new DAWs out to try. You got Reaper, you got Behringer's new one coming out. We've got this. We got the Serato one. Like, I like Ableton. It does everything I want.
I mean, we could essentially, at the moment, with all the stuff that's happening, we could just be like, Google free VSTs or like free. Like, there's so much.
It's all the DAWs coming out.
Yeah.
I find it quite interesting because I used to be Cubase. Always Cubase.
That's Logic.
And when I changed to Ableton, I felt like I was stumbling through the sand. It was really like,
Anakin Skywalker.
But now
sand. There's sand in my door.
One of my mates works in Cubase, and when I'm looking through his tracks, I'm looking at how the fucking awkward the routing is, and I'm like, bless Ableton. Yeah. It's like so good.
I used Sonar for a bit, but like it had a tendency to make me want to pull my scrotum over my face and suffocate myself. I don't think it's a bad program. It's not for me.
Well, it's the thing, and then sometimes you've got to try new things. So I'll give the Serato one and this Luna you have to pay for unless you've got the other stuff. But
try a new thing.
It's always good to try new stuff. You might hate it, but it's always good. Try big knobs. That's what we need.
Make that the Stonxcast motto. Try big knobs.
Try big knobs.
Don't be a prick. Try big knobs.
So, like, we're just saying blah, blah, blah. There's all these other ones. But Ableton's the one, If we could become Ableton certified, which we could, it's just fucking pain in the ass, then I would. I bum Ableton. I love Ableton. It's great. If you want to learn Ableton, there's more awesome resources for you. learningmusic.ableton.com. We got 10.
We'll give you access to this sick beat. Now it begins.
Yeah. So this is like the arrange view, right? In Ableton. So
look, I've got it would make this light up. Like
it's very nice.
Yeah. What happens if I press this?
Nice. So yeah, it's loads of stuff. It's just it teaches you how to
like random out of time bassoon because obviously it's set to like.
We've got a whole matrix grid, MIDI grid here, so you can like do your thing. So if we're like talking about stuff,
I guess these are really good if you're trying to teach people as well.
Yeah, this is it. It's like some people don't have a clue what this is.
Welcome to your beginning of step sequencing.
Yeah, that's it. And then this is all you need, and then you go to 140. 139 will do. Yag, sorted, right? But it goes.
I was on the phone to you yesterday, and you just kept saying "yug," and I just had like no control of the conversation.
Yeah, really interesting. Go learningmusic.ableton.com and fucking learn Ableton. And if you don't want that, and you rather read a book, then you can download PDF of their 74 creative strategies for electronic music producers, which they used to charge for, but you can just download that.
I wish I'd have had the state of mind to learn from the ground up.
I mean, still, it's great to go back and relearn things and like.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. I'm filling in a lot of the gaps in my production knowledge now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not bad. It's just there's something wrong with him.
I've just practiced.
It's like he absorbed. If you've ever watched Black Books, right? It's just BB. No, I can't remember what channel. Maybe it's Channel 4. There's an episode where Bill Bailey's character eats the little book of calm and it like absorbs into his system. That is essentially what's happened with the Ableton user guide and Ollie.
Read the fucking manual though. It's crazy like how much it says.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing a series of videos on one of my old YouTube channel, just like deep diving into each plugin and just reading the manual. And I was like, it's probably too boring, but it's really good to do. Like I don't know. I listen to music and I think, fuck, how did they do that? And if I know how they did it, then I feel
that's probably
like,
how it all started on Sort of Voyage.
Yeah, that's it. So messing around, just experimenting is the best thing to do. Read the manual, figure out some things.
I got a lot of time for the fact that it starts page 13 and it starts you're staring into the void.
Yeah, so
I feel like that's prophetic by Ableton at this point.
it's just got some good techniques, and I've not read all of it. I had to skim through it earlier. It's got a bunch of things. I remember downloading one of these years ago from a guy, Tom Cosm. I think he's Australian YouTuber, streamer, DJ, does kind of psytrancey, stompy stuff. He released one of these. It's always good, just little things to spark your noggin when you're not feeling it and just get writing music.
This is true.
This is why I do the sound design sessions separate to the writing sessions, just because sometimes I don't know music. I know music, but brain just goes, bleh.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that about 8% of the time.
Yeah, so it's good just to have some things to do. More free VSTs. This is a piano plugin by Sample Science, and it's a resonance piano plugin. It's got LFOs, filters and stuff. Play a little demo. Pretty nice piano, really, for free.
Yeah.
Chuck a bunch more stuff on it, for your reverbs and stuff. It'd be all nice. Look, you can donate as well, which I'd say do if you want to. Another one for anyone that wants to learn stuff. We've got 94% off Udemy discount coupon code, April 20.
This ties in quite well actually, because I've just I basically I bought myself a Tractor Control S4 about a year and a half back, and due to just brain issues and anxiety issues, I only actually switched the fucker on the other day. And it's quite funny, I've been producing for a long time, but because it required like live performance and just being in front of other people, I always wanted to DJ, but I never did it. So I've only started the other day. And I started with a Udemy course by I think the guy's name's Max Porcelli or something. Is that a thing? Max Porcelli. Yeah, this dude. He's a resident advisor. He's on Resident Advisor, and he does a Udemy course. Actually, let me just. I won't share the screen again, but I'll tell you what it's called.
Well, you can take the screen in a minute anyway. I've only got this and one more tab, and then.
Oh, I'll load that up. Well, you do the end of your thing then, and I can whinge about him in a minute.
Cool. So yeah, Udemy discount code. So that's cool. If you want to learn something new, there's loads of resources out there, and then the Waves bundles, which are just really fucking sexy plugins. They've now got 40% off all the plugins, all the blundles, all the plugins, all the blundles,
all of the blundles,
all of the free plugins when you spend more money on the blundles. So buy the blundles, get the plugins, get the free plugins when you buy the blundles. Blative, blowed, blorty, buy the blundles. Oh, look, she's got one of these eggs. This is what I was making with the caramel.
Oh, what? Let me see.
It's like cacao and dates and stuff, and hazelnuts. But then as a dented in the middle and made caramel. Shiny.
Turbo hippie food.
Yeah, so. Oh, mate, well good. Bly the blundles. That's all I have to say, and then I'll pass you the screen. You can take the screen now.
Right, I'll take the screen. Make sure you buy them blundles. Blah 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 blah. just like listening to you has made me cease being able to like use a computer. There we go. Right. So this is just I'll interject with this first, and then I'll show you a bit of the tune and show you a bit of the balancer. So we've got this. This is the course that I did I basically just wanted an outline of what buttons to press and how to do it.
Oh, fuck.
And this guy does that really well. It's a really good outline. I think it's got something like 5 hours of video, 9 articles, and it's only $11.99. I think that's like if you join Udemy Today deal, I'm pretty sure it jacks up all the prices. But I've actually, I think I spent 20 quid on it, and like I don't know why, I'm just super cynical, and I was like, oh, this is just going to be like a waste of time. Like, it did actually teach me some stuff. It got me started, and I'm having loads of fun with the tractor now. So hopefully we'll be able to show you guys some live mixes of stuff soon, and yeah, just show you another element to the circus. So yeah, take a look at this one. This is the course I did. It's pretty decent, man. Like, the guy seems to know what he's talking about. He's got like a pretty I think he's Italian as well, so he's got a fun accent. It's a nice accent to listen to. So yeah, I think it's probably the best of like 3 or 4 I looked through. So
I did a bit of tractor, and yeah, it's quite fun. Little.
Oh, you did a bit of tractor.
I did a bit of tractor. I don't think it was the same kind of tractor.
I did a bit of combine harvester, and then I did a bit of backhoe. Anyway, yeah, that's enough West Country. I'll give you a quick look at this. So
yeah, let's have a look at Urban Rampage. Have a look at the balancer plugin that you.
The Rumper Tumper.
Yeah.
Have a look at Rumper Tumper. This track is called Urban Rampage, but it also has many unofficial names, like Rumper Tumper and anything that will run in that and has sort of 4 syllables.
It was Urban Tamper and then Ramper Tamper.
Oh god, yeah, I just
Urban
got it.
Rumper.
Oh no, I don't lie. It's done my head in this tune now because I don't really know. It's just gonna be a bastard to mix. But anyway, that's not what we're really looking at here. We are looking at the Sonible and Focusrite balancer. And this is it in all its beauty. It's essentially, how would you best describe it, Ollie? It's like a one-stop shop EQ for, well, you can see for yourself. It's got 3 very clear settings. It's got
I called it AI last time. It's not really AI, but it like listens. It listens and it does.
Yeah,
what it thinks would be right.
It's digital track analysis masquerading as AI, really, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, it's
yeah.
like
I'm imagining it's using a similar track analysis kind of thing that like Tractor and stuff uses to get like do whatever it's.
Yeah, it's just like
anyway.
If you know when you have a preset and your preset for a guitar EQ has a certain shelf and it's a certain way, this just kind of makes sure that the EQ that you feed it ends up like that curve, because you might have a frequency and you put I need some paper really to describe it better, but you know, you got your frequency response and you put this shape on top of it.
Can they even see you right now? Aren't they just looking at my screen?
No, I'm here. I'm up here.
All right, cool.
So you got your wiggles, and then if you've got
this
loads,
is great.
if you've got loads of like a big hump in your 500 hertz, and you apply an EQ that's meant to give it a big hump, and it already has a big hump, it's going to give it twice the hump. Whereas this is listening to it and going, oh, it's already got a big hump, so it dynamically puts the EQ on.
Yeah,
in a way,
keeping an eye out.
It rebalances it rather than.
It's EQing in relativity to errant frequencies.
Yeah, that's
to put it in a sentence if you want to try and do that. So anyway, I've got it turned off at the moment, and I've got it set. I've been using it kind of almost like trying to use it like an exciter to just sort of bring out the higher harmonic frequencies. It's probably not how it's meant to be used, and it's probably not even how it sounds, but that's how I think it should be used. So fuck it. And yeah, I'll just give you a little listen with it off and with it on. I'll probably go straight into the giggle and the start of the first verse. So.
Are you sharing the audio properly?
Yes, I did check that, Oliver. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've just checked it again. Just checked it again. All right. So we'll go from the start of Wartime. moving the intensity around a little bit. It just, well, yeah, I mean, it really does what it says on the tin. If you want a warm sound, it will warm up the sound for you. If you want a neutral sound, it seemed to bring out the bassoons quite nicely in the wartime. That track
your delay's still going on. Your delay's still going on.
Oh yeah, no, unless I'm like that 20 years, mate. Unless I fucking bring the master track down. Yeah, that'll just hang around.
So what did you have the balancer on then? What channel was it on?
So I had the balancer on the orchestra for that bit,
Cool.
which was why I was bringing out the bassoons. And so yeah, essentially, if you want it to analyze the track while you're going along, you just hit this relearn button. You've got some universal I was using there because I was just using it over an orchestra and there wasn't any kind of sort of orchestral section, but you've got male and female vocals, keys, acoustic electric guitar, bass, drums, kick, snare, and hat. So I've yet to try it on any of those. I just wanted to see what it would be like on the orchestra because I was trying to bring those bassoons out a little bit in the mix anyway.
And then I can also
give it a look. One thing I did notice when I was using it, and it was something that your friend, was it Rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, with another guy who seriously knows his stuff probably more than I do. He said that while it EQs the track itself as an entity very, very nicely, it doesn't lend itself to having the tracks EQ well with each other.
Multiple instances,
quite often you have to EQ a little bit after, as you can see on my screen, as I assume I'm probably still showing you it. I had an EQ after the balancer as well, just to make sure that it's still fitting in with the track profile or whatever you call it, like the track dynamic.
I mean, the amount of times that I just cut, I just keep putting more filters and more EQs, cutting out low end on every channel that doesn't need it. It's just every time I do anything, I add some distortion, cut the low end again, just to make sure, you know.
And as a total aside, I'm just going to play you this bit of my track because it's breakbeat with orchestras, and I just fucking love it. Oh, hang on. Oh, am I not sharing my sound anymore?
You've got minus infinite down at the bottom.
Oh, wait, no.
Don't
worry.
What you got? Your
just me being a fucking idiot. No, I still have the master track down. Woohoo! Music tech. Right. Sorry everyone for my failing. Rather than the fact that I had the master faded down and then I peaked the fuck out of it, that's the breakbeat bit of that song.
Yeah, man. Once it's all mastered
you
and
gotta do
everything.
that stuff live. I do that stuff all the time when it's not live.
Yeah, when that's all mastered, that'll be sick.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that track. Just while I've got it on screen, if you start opening stuff out, it's bloody everything.
Colossus.
Got some stabs, little grimy stabs, but yeah, I might
bell
do a
end.
walkthrough on this one.
Bell end. What's track 51?
Yeah,
bell end.
Yeah, the bell's just like I got pissed off at the bell, so it just became bell end. Yeah, I mean, like it's much
tribe.
like
Is that the war tribe at the beginning?
Well ordered, and mine are just like, well, I'll just put everything in sidechain group at the end of it.
Yeah, it does the job.
Fuck it. So yeah, I'll give you this. No, I'm keeping the screen. I am keeping the screen. So we'll quickly go through the kangaroo in space stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it because they didn't get back to us, and like.
Yeah, this was kind of an interesting thing. So I've got the two tabs open here.
Yeah, my detective work led to me thinking they're just some scammy, dodgy bastards, and then they didn't get back to us when we like questioned them once. So
yeah.
Make that if you will.
So yeah, I don't know whether we should actually show the emails on screen or not. So
I don't care. Did their email say? Did they have a disclaimer at the bottom of the email?
I don't know. I don't want to check on the screen now, just in case they did.
Just fucking check it. Check it. We can edit it out on the thing. Confidentiality notice. The contents of this email and any attachments are intended solely for the addressee. They may contain confidential and private information and may be legally protected from disclosure. If you are not the intended recipient of this message, or this message is addressed to you in error, please immediately alert the sender by replying the email. If you're not the intended recipient, you are hereby notify you. But we are the intended recipient.
Right.
So.
Well, anyway, so we got contacted by we got contacted by a company called Kangaroo in Space, and they essentially were offering to do like booking and promotions. And so we emailed back to them saying we were more interested in promotions, but doing some research on the internet, Ollie found out a very similar named company called Kangaroo Bookings. Why don't you say a little bit about them?
Yeah, so when I was looking at Kangaroo in Space, the first thing that came up was Kangaroo Bookings. So naturally I'm like, well, are they the same? Are they an offshoot? Are they sister companies?
Yeah.
And then I quickly found out that Kangaroo Bookings had actually been closed. And I'm like, okay, so Kangaroo Bookings is closed and Kangaroo in Space is open. There's something fishy going on here.
The game is afoot.
Even before we even really knew anything about them. They got a nice website with a bunch of artists that you can click on. Nice scroll in. You pull the website up, I suppose. It's probably still live. I don't know, unless they've deleted that and Kangaroo in Space is gone. But you know, it's got a nice scrolling slideshow of all their artists. You can click the artists.
Yeah, they're still there.
It's got a little bio, and then you click the bio, and most of the artists are like dead SoundCloud links, and fucking no one's even real. Go on, pick someone.
Yeah, it's a strange
pick
one.
someone who looks good. The better they look, the weirder it is that they're just not there anymore.
Do.
I mean, you know, we don't know these guys. They might be good. They're probably doing their shit. They're probably pulling their weight. But
6 months.
6 months ago, so you know, he's still active. He's doing his stuff. We're not, you know. But from my reading, what I found out is this guy, to get on this page, has paid Kanga some money, and that's what they do basically. They contact you saying they can get you some gigs, and they'll take a percentage, and then the gigs either never come. I've not found anyone. I couldn't find one person who had a Kanga gig that played a Kanga gig.
I've given you back the screen.
Cool. Yeah, I couldn't find one person who had done a Kanga gig.
That was the issue, wasn't it? You couldn't find anyone who'd actually played a gig through them.
Kangaroo Bookings. Oh no, it's Kangaroo in Space, isn't it? Look, so you type in Kangaroo Bookings, you get Kangaroo Bookings is a scam. And then it's like one of these typical things where loads of the responses, the same thing over and over again, copy-paste jobs. They were really good. I worked for them for a time. Kangaroo in I can't spell. Kangaroo in Space. So, like, there's no... Here's their top international artists. Here's their... all the artists. Here's how you contact them. Don't know what they're doing now because all the international events are fucking closed, so I don't know how they're running their scam. So these people, let's click their Facebook, whoever these people are. Action 52. November 2017 was their last post on Facebook.
Yeah,
on the
this is what I mean.
Of Kanga. I'll just pick another one. You know, this guy. You know, these people might still be active, but it's just weird. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's just... This content isn't available right now. Instagram. March 24th, so his Instagram's still active. 2 months ago, so yeah, some of these people are active, but they're not advertising any gigs that they've played through Kanga. That's a weird one. So what?
Essentially, when we emailed them back asking if they had any, so they were chatting away to us quite freely.
Can you just read the emails? Now you're not sharing the screen. You can just actually see what's happened properly. Yeah. So what was? How many interactions did we have with them?
So we had about 6 or 7 emails. So we got an email. I'll paraphrase a lot of it. Saying, "Hi, our recruitment team heard your music project, Stonx Music. Can we ask you a question?" We said, "Thanks for messaging us. And what would you like to know?" They said,
"Who is your daddy?
What are your future plans? What do you have in mind? Our aim is to include new faces. Our aim is to have a wide range of artists, DJs, producers, and ready to play in events, parties, and festivals. Please keep in touch." So we took a little while to reply. Oh no, this was quite quick actually. We were like, "Thank you so much for taking time to write back. We are excited to hear from you. sounds like you guys have been on a great journey. Can't believe I said that. It was business talk. Thanks for all the work you've done for the music community. And then we just explained about ourselves and said, please let us know how you would like to move forward, expressing interest at that point. She emailed back saying, apologies for the delay of taking so long to, and we've got lots of things to do, yada, yada, yada. Can we know your minimum rate? We told them our minimum rate. And then we all we did was slightly ask. We just wanted to ask if Kangaroo in Space was Kangaroo Bookings previously. And I just said just part of our own diligence, as I'm sure you'll understand. And that is where the interaction suddenly stopped.
The book closed.
So we're not really sure about that. It's a bit of a strange one. I don't know if I mean, there's a possibility that they just got shirty about us asking questions. But it definitely seemed like as soon as we asked anything about connection to Kangaroo Booking, which had been sort of slated by a couple of people online anyway, they just stopped talking to us. Yep. So that is definitely something to keep an eye out for if you are contacted by international events companies, no matter what it is, vet it properly. Feel free to ask them directly.
It's one of those things when you're
it's the only chance you're ever going to get. Just ask people.
Yeah, it's the old thing. Don't sign.
Otherwise, you might just end up on a paid service with no gigs. You never know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, don't sign a contract before you've read it and everything. But when you're early in the game, you know, we've only just started up the Stonx project, so it's popping up and all of the new website and everything. So people are going to see it, and people are going to try and make money and do their thing. It's it doesn't even necessarily have to be a scam. But people can offer you things you don't need and make them sound like you do need them. And it's a tricky one.
That's the entire point of selling, isn't it?
You know, that we chatted about him last week, but that Carl Smallwood, he gets contacted by so many companies that he just thinks they're shit, so he doesn't support them. It doesn't matter if
the stock answer is fuck off.
You know, have a bit of fucking integrity, right?
Right. Anyway, I need to go and attend to the rest of my day. Plus, I've had like growing wisdom toothache for this entire stream, and it's got pretty severe now. So I need to go and eat some ibuprofen.
Nice one, dude. I'm going to finish.
Well, thank you very much for listening to the slightly more disjointed. Apologies if I've been a little bit off colour today. It's just been a bit of a rocky weekend.
Yeah, and then
I'm sure I'll be back on form by the next time we do this next week.
Next Sunday, I think.
Got some emotional and now tooth pain going on, so it's all good.
It's bull, but
so
it's
look
cool.
after yourself if you're in isolation. We'll find a way of putting those links out for the stuff that I was talking about earlier, and just make sure that you're
I was going to say well. I'll have
the
a
main
look
point
at
is you get through this in whatever, like, you survive whatever trials this puts upon you.
Yeah, man. I was going to say we'll have a look at the description. I'll try and get all the links of everything we've talked about and everything.
The only way you can guarantee things won't get better is if you're not here. So make sure you're here.
We're here. We're here. We want you to be here.
Yes.
Everything's
most
good.
Definitely. Right. On a somber note, but an accomplished one. Let's sign this off then.
Yeah. Nice one, everyone. Thanks for watching.
All right.
And we'll
cheers,
catch
guys.
up with you next time.
Take care of yourself.
Bye.